Guys, we're going to first test that we're going to do is a traditional rope cutting test. I've never cut a rope, a hanging rope, you know, that is, but this is supposedly supposed to be a big sharpness, how you test sharpness of a knife. So we're going to give it a try. You know, I know this thing will shave hair off your arm. It'll skin, you know, it'll skin out paper in, you know, 16th inch strips. But I figured we'd give this a try since we're going to be testing this thing and see what we'll come up with. So here we go. We're going to be aiming right here at the blue tape right here, right above it, right there, and we're just going to see. We're going to see what we get. What's wrong with that? Well, I guess that it'll cut a rope. So it's sharp, huh? Now we'll move outside to the real test. Alright guys, we just did the rope cut test with the new Villain DT, Villain Destructive tool. We're going to move on out here to a few other little tests now, and then we cut that rope, and we've got just a white, you know, just a white sheet of paper here, and just a standard, you know, piece of notebook paper. I figured I'd just shave a little bit off of it, just to kind of, you know, just to kind of. I mean, the knife is razor sharp, so you know. I mean, so. Apparently that rope didn't dull it. Now, I figured we'd upgrade a little bit here, you know, to a tin can here, and we just kind of, you know, see where we're at right here with this, and you know, move on right here and just kind of leave on around here. So it'll cut a tin can, and I do believe that at this point it'll still shave my arm. So if it'll cut a tin can, a 1-inch rope, and still shave my arm, I'd say that the CPM 3V is a pretty good, you know, edge holding. It holds a pretty good edge. Now we'll upgrade a little bit here. I figured we'd just see if it, you know, see what it do right here on this. This is basically, this is your, look at that. That's how sharp that is. That's how sharp that tin is right there. So I cut my thumb. So hold on just a second. Let me get a Band-Aid on this and I'll get right back to you. Alright guys, I cut my finger, my thumb. Cut it real bad. So we went in there and stripped that up real good. But what I was doing here is I was shaving this tin off, and my thumb went right down the edge of that tin. Should have wore a glove, but I'm trying to make a point here by not wearing a glove about how grippy this knife is. And I also have a lanyard on, as you can see. That was for safety purposes in there, cutting the rope so the knife didn't get away and, you know, fly out of my hand. But anyway, so we've successfully cut a beer. First we shaved some paper, cut a beer can, I shaved my arm. We trimmed off pieces of this tin right here, you know, just like that right there. We're not going to cut ourselves again on that, but as you can see, you know, that's what we got there. Now, I mean, this knife will easily penetrate that tin. You know, that's not a problem. Now the Skull Crusher backspacer on here. Now what we have next is a military grade ammunition can. I believe this one here held M855 ball ammo. It's 5.56 ammo. So this was donated by a good friend of mine who had to leave a little early. So anyway, but this is what we're going to go with next. Now, you know, on a frame lock knife, when you grasp the knife, you're actually tightening up the locking mechanism into the knife, okay? A lot of people like to test the do a spine whack on one of these knives to see if it'll close. There is absolutely no application that I have ever seen or used in law enforcement, in the hunting field, or in the contract field, security contract field, where I spine whacked a knife or used it to where it was going to break the lock open. Now, I fit my locks up specially with what they call a safety lock on these frame locks. It was developed by Bob Terzola. I believe he was the first one to develop it. So, but anyway, we're not going to test that because I just don't see it necessary. You know, but my point is that when you grasp these frame locks, you're actually tightening up the locking mechanism on it. This is also a 3V skull crusher on the back of here, so that's what it'll do right there. It'll punch a hole in this ammo can, no problem whatsoever. So that is a tool and a weapon on the rear end of this knife. You know, again, we'll demonstrate that one more time. So that's what you have there. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this around. My lanyard's not going to allow me to, maybe it will, get a good grasp on it here, but it will. So we're going to turn this around and we're going to see if this 3V blade with the modified Tonto on it will go through this can. I don't have any doubt that I'm making holes all in it. So that's what you got right there. You know, now that's how you test a knife. We're not going in the lab. You know, we're not running over it with a truck. We're doing what you do with it in the field if you had to use this knife in an emergency situation. And as you can see, the blade, the 3V blade, the tip of it is not damaged at all. The edge is not damaged at all. Now it's dull, it won't shave, but it can be touched up really quickly on a stone. Now the other thing this knife will still do is it'll unlock and it'll close up and lay right down the center. Real world application. That's what we build at the Burke Knife Shop, and that's how we test it.